Right, let's start this. What's the worst that can happen? They won't start. Literally, yeah.
What's happening, everyone? My name is Adrian and welcome back to What the Pun. And I'm very happy to say I'm reunited here with Ronald. What's happening, Ronald? How you doing?
What's happening, bro? Long time?
Long time.
Good to see your face.
Yeah, long time no see. I mean, there must be a reason why I'm here. Lovely day. A bit of sun, bit of rain. At the moment, there's a bit of sun, but I'm happy that I'm here because there is a very special reason why I'm reunited here with you.
There is. One of our project cars has finally passed its MOT and is finally ready to go back on the road.
I mean, both the cars have been, it's been a long journey. Which car is ready, Ron? Would you care to share with everyone the good news?
Tempah T is ready, guys.
Tempah T is ready. Tempah T is ready. So there you have it. That was Tempah T, all finished, on the road, road legal. Thank you very much for your hard work, Ronald.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for the support.
It definitely wasn't an easy task.
It was definitely a lot of learnings, a lot of things I would have probably done a bit differently. But I feel like it was a very good meaty project. Ever since we bought Tappy, I always wanted like a proper rebuild of some kind, just to really test my skills. And yeah, yeah, definitely got tested. Let's put it that way.
I mean, I honestly cannot believe that this car has finished before Tappy, our Mark 4 Golf GTI. There was so many points in this build I was like, okay, this is never going to get finished. When we received the car, the engine was in bits. We didn't know where,
everything went.
Yeah, we didn't know. Didn't know where everything went, and didn't know what we was going to expect. So you had to completely rebuild that engine to figure out
what was actually broken.
Yeah, what was actually wrong. So and then at some point you basically told us, okay, we're gonna have to buy a new engine because it wasn't starting up after you rebuilt it.
It wasn't starting up. I thought, the piston rings had gone. I was thinking, okay, I got to source one. But the challenge was that there wasn't actually many decent engines available. And also, when you're buying another engine, you have no idea what that history is. So I could have gone through all of that process of getting a new engine, only to then be back to square one. So I was like, do you know what? Let me just whip off the cylinder heads. I'll take it to somebody who knows what they're doing and can tell me if it's salvageable or not. And yeah, it actually was, and it didn't even cost me that much to sort out in hindsight. Set the house on fire, God! Hey!
Which is, I'm glad you went with that route. Otherwise, we was thinking, like when you said we needed an engine, we was both thinking, how are we going to get this engine? How are we going to pick up an engine? Do we need to get someone to deliver it to us, or are we going to try and load the massive engine into the back of one of our cars, or that was a struggle.
Yeah, I think it's more the cost involved with getting bits that I didn't have yet. So like to invest in an engine hoist, which yes, I'm going to use that numerous times. I've got one now, but obviously at that time I was like that plus the engine, plus fuel, plus getting a car, getting a van. Like it was just getting, like I was trying to keep the cost down, isn't it? So yeah, luckily I was able to take the cylinder head off. Where I live in Stevenage, there's a machine shop in the next town over. And I said, look, I'm dropping this off to you. Do your cylinder heads checks, any leakage, anything like that. And to be fair, I took it there, right? And the first thing he literally looked at him and was like, yeah, your exhaust valves are bent. And I was like, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Like, of course, like I'm thinking, oh yeah, there's no compression, the piston rings are gone, so compression was going down the side. No, at some point, the timing belt had snapped. And then the piston and the valves hit at the same time and bent the exhaust valve. That's all it was.
Huh.
It wasn't even an issue with the rings after all.
So, honestly, I'm glad you opted for this other route, and definitely saved a lot of money in this build. Definitely learned a lot, I reckon.
Yeah. There was one point where I was doing the piston rings, filing them down, and then like, as I was filing them down, I was like, hang on a minute, am I doing this right? I misread the measurements on the what's it called, the feeler gauge. I misread the measurement, so it was trying to file down something that didn't need filing. So I was like, okay, cool, definitely learned not to do that again. But it's fine. It's still within a tolerance, but I have shaved a little thousandths of a millimeters off of it. So yeah, man, and it was just like a slow, methodical process of putting it together. Like, yeah, it was some long hours.
Alright, so I'm going to show you guys where we're at, and here's some footage of Tempah T right now. Hello, Ronald.
Hello, Con. Should we go on a drive?
Yes, please. Gosh, I think this is the first time I sat in this.
I was literally about to say that. You haven't been in this.
This is literally the first time.
Alright.
So, we're in the Audi TT. So, you've got this back on the road, and you've driven it for a bit. What's your impression, Ronald? Like, what's your first impression, in terms of handling, power? What's your thoughts on the car?
So this car is the 180 brake version, and it's very lively. It's quite powerful. It's got probably about 30 more brake than my Z3. But I think the thing is with the Z3 is a lot more nimble, and obviously because it's rear-wheel drive, I feel like you can kind of throw it around into corners a bit more. But no, I really like this car. Like, I'm glad that this was the project car that we had. It's got a nice design. I love the fuel cap. I love these subtle things. Like, we were talking like off camera, like how the TT is got a lot of like bare metal exposed. And for a car that came out in 1999, that was like ahead of its time.
Oh yeah,
I mean, any cars could do that.
Yeah, the interior-wise, I like it. I mean, you wouldn't think it's this old.
Yeah, it's not outdated.
Yeah, it doesn't feel outdated. It doesn't feel dated at all. It's a very nice, clean, simple interior. You're not overwhelmed by buttons, and I just like the little finishings around the fans and the door handle. It's small and cute. And I just got confused by the window switch, to be fair. It's like tucked away by the door handle, which is it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in terms of, like, the Audi TT has picked up a reputation of not being a not very good sports car compared to any the other ones in its category. And would say what, like the Porsche Boxster at the time, MX-5.
Yeah, Boxster, Z3, MX-5, and a TT. Like out of those four, I would say TT's probably ranked 3 or 4. I would say it goes Boxster, Z3, MX-5, TT. But I know there's gonna be a lot of MX-5 haters, haters on me. But you know what? I don't like them. Yeah, I've told you in a previous video I don't like them. Right? The Z3, because it's a proper roadster. Big engine at the front, rear wheel drive, same like the MX-5. But MX-5 engine, in my opinion, is just not pokey enough. And obviously the Boxster is just out there, isn't it? It's the car that, so hopefully one of the next project cars we have is a Boxster. With the TT, I'll tell you what it is, right? And I noticed this as I was going around corners, it's very stiff, but I feel controlled.
Okay.
Like the steering wheel is massive, the brakes are a lot larger, so it really has got good stopping power. And also, it's little subtle change, like the design. There's not many cars out there right now that has this kind of like swooping design. And you got a little lip on the rear end.
Oh yeah. So, Ronald, next question. If you can choose between this Audi TT and your BMW Z3, which one would it be?
It's got to be a Z3. It's got to be Z3. However, Z3 in the winter time is sketchy, right? Unless you've got like proper decent tyres. I mean, if it was, a TT 3.2 four-wheel drive Quattro versus a Z3, I'd probably take the TT because I can drive that every single day of the year. Okay. Z3, I thought we've been blessed because I hadn't really driven it much through the winter because we was in lockdown both sides of Christmas.
Alright, so we've got this road legal again. What's the plan? What's next? What have we got, in line for this lovely Audi TT next?
Well, I haven't been pushing it today, Pun, because as I told you off camera, I've got a vacuum leak issue. That I thought it was a bad turbo. Turns out it wasn't a bad turbo because I bought another turbo and exactly the same thing happened. So I got one leak by the hose, the plastic hose going towards the EGR valve, and then the other leak is just I think it's a crankcase breather. Okay. Basically, where there's a pipe that goes and sits on top of the oil filter housing. Okay. I think it's called a crankcase breather. Correct me if I'm wrong. Basically, those two areas I've got massive air leak. So there is power, but after about 3,000 revs, squeals. Other than that, like, I just want to drive the car. I want to take it on a road trip or two before I start thinking like what do I want to do next. I was thinking of keeping it long term, but I'd have preferred if it was a Quattro, I'll be honest. Okay, yeah. Because then I can at least...
Yeah, then it's more practical.
Then it's more practical.
Every day of the year. Okay, so I think mainly to organise a road trip.
Yep.
And I think once you've sorted out all the little bits in this Audi TT, I think the next stop is probably at our other headquarters, which is at mine, to do some final touches to make her look all pretty. Yep. Do a bit of detailing. I'll show everyone, my way of detailing a car. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I finally can get my hands on the car and do a bit of work, I guess. since you've been doing all the hard work for now. It's crazy to think, like, we started off with this car, unknown history, to not knowing what the problem was, and to have it now back on the road legal. It's still hard to believe at the moment, to be fair.
Do you know what I'm also I'm amazed at, is it was actually quite a cheap build. Like, we paid what, $658 including delivery from CoPart, which was at that time one of the cheapest TTs you could find.
I don't think you can find one at this price anymore.
No. 400 pounds to put the engine back together. I've had to do 2 new coil springs to pass it through MOT, but other than that, it's been quite a cheap car. It's been a cheap build. And, we won't go into the other car. Well, no, I've enjoyed it.
Anything about the other car We'll save it for another video. Save it for another video. We don't want to tell them too much.
No, no.
We don't even know if it's ready yet, do we?
Only I know that, guys.
But anyways, shall we wrap this up, Ronald, so we can enjoy the drive?
Yeah, let's do that.
But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Thank you for following this Audi TT build, which also known as Tempah T. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm so glad that we finally have this back on the roads. And if you want to, you know, follow the journey on our next builds, make sure you hit the subscribe button, tap the notification bell so you know when new content's coming out. But anyways, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Ronald.
Thank you very much, guys.
Take care. We'll see you next time.
See you later. Bye.